Richardson didn't say, hey, I'm the fourth best player in the draft. Chris Ballard's the GM. Why is it the player is always the bust, not the GM or the coach? Anthony Richardson came in as a raw talent, and he was a project. But I think every quarterback who comes into the NFL is a project of sorts. It's just varying degrees. Anthony Richardson was 20 years of age. He's younger than quite a few quarterbacks. He's younger than Shedeur Sanders is. He's younger than, all these other rookies. Jackson Dart of the Giants. It's going to take time. I just don't think organizations, coaching staffs have that ability. They don't have time on their side.
The Dan Patrick Show.
Dan and the Danettes and you.
Weekdays 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific. On Fox Sports Radio. It's Jason Smith.
Oh, you're that bloke on the radio.
It's Mike Harmon.
Ta-da! I'm kind of a big deal.
And they talk sports.
The one person that this playoff is not fun for is my wife.
Amongst other things.
I had an incredibly long dream about Jerry Jones last night.
Really?
Did I mention they're best friends?
You're hateful, and I'm positive.
It's the Jason Smith Show with Mike Harmon.
Bang.
Weeknights at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. On Fox Sports Radio.
Yeah!
The most fearless voice in sports is on FS1. The one and only Colin Cowherd is bold, unique, and outspoken.
Wow.
You can see him on The Herd, weekdays at noon Eastern on FS1 in the Fox Sports app.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
And here's what you need to know.
Baltimore Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson left practice early today after he got his foot stepped on, but the Ravens told reporters that Jackson is just fine. The Chicago Bears signed backup quarterback Tyson Bagent to a 2-year contract extension worth up to $16 million with $10 million guaranteed. Bears also signed running back Royce Freeman. Atlanta Falcons right tackle Caleb McGarry was carted off the practice field today with an apparent left leg injury and will have an MRI. In Major League Baseball, the Cleveland Guardians and Arizona Diamondbacks have just started extra innings in Arizona after the Diamondbacks' Lourdes Gurriel hit a home run in the bottom of the ninth inning to tie the score at 2, his 17th home run of the season. Earlier, Kyle Schwarber, 5 RBI, and his National League leading 45th home run in the Phillies' 11-2 win over the Mariners. Schwarber now 2 behind Seattle's Cal Raleigh for the Major League lead. I'm Isaac Lowenkron.
It's time for South Dakota's Sports Talk Show. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, great interviews, and thought-provoking sports talk. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, I would like to welcome you in Wednesday on the program. We're ready out of the gate tonight. South Dakota Sports Talk Show. How you doing? Hopefully okay. A little warm, I know. Let's enjoy the warm while we have it. We always get this in August. So is it hot enough for you? It's hot. Be careful. If you're working outside, you're playing sports, heads up. Hope you're having a good rest of your summer. A lot of the kids are back in school, so they're trying to get, off that addiction of goldfish and Roblox. They're trying to get back into swing of things, and we're back and ready. South Dakota Sports Talk Show, the Nate Brown Show, is on Fox Sports Radio, where it's always a great day in South Dakota. Yes, here we are on Twitter as well. Stream us at Nate Brown Show. So you've got us on X. That's where we're at Nate Brown Show. Stream us on X anytime, and then subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're listening now on the radio, great, but you can catch us live on YouTube on your smart TV, computer, phone. The Nate Brown Show YouTube channel. Subscribe. We'd appreciate it. You got to remember, this show is free. This is free right here. There's not much left in life for free, but it's not a free 99 effort. It's a big effort tonight, so let's get after it. The Nate Brown Show is on. Here we go. Craig Maddox going to join us tonight. He is a longtime Sioux Falls sports broadcaster, a regular guest on the program. You know that. Every week we go East River meets West River with Craig Maddox, SDPB Sports. He is coming up. The voice of the Coyotes, John Thayer, is on tonight talking USD. Big news yesterday with USD, one of the biggest donations in the history of Coyote athletics. They've got it, and what does it all mean? Plus, let's preview the football season for the Yotes. John Thayer's on tonight from Vermilion, voice of the Yotes on the Coyote Sports Network. J.D. Piquel is in tonight. He's a national college football analyst for On3 Sports. This is a site that's really exploded with Brett McMurphy and some of these guys. J.D. Piquel is one of the best college football analysts. National perspective from him on Iowa State, K-State this weekend. A little week 0 action. Want to get J.D. Piquel's thoughts on the Huskers. J.D. Piquel is on. He hosts The Hard Count on On3 Sports. And finally, we'll go high school football again. Our previews continue. We talked to Jared Fredenberg last night, head coach Sioux Falls Lincoln. We had Matt Christensen at Brandon Valley earlier this week. Tonight, we'll go to the 11 AA ranks. Multi-state champion Steve Steele, head coach for the Pierre Governors. What's Pierre look like this year? Head coach Steve Steele's coming up. Busy Wednesday show. Let's get going so we can get after it. The Nate Brown Show inviting you on. Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline, 605-720-1067. Call us there. Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline, 605-720-1067. And remember the Barron's Wilson text line. If you can't call, text the text line. We get those on the app. Same number, 605-720-1067. You want to get in touch, be a part of the conversation on South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Okay. We had a conversation yesterday on this show that I thought was going to be good, but sometimes you never know because, guests can't say a lot. When there's big responsibilities and they got to make sure they're politically correct, and sometimes you just never know. But one guy that's been a straight shooter with me has been the Wyoming Athletic Director, Tom Berman. He's been at the FCS level before. He was at Portland State. He's been at Wyoming a long time, so he knows this type of stuff that I wanted to get into yesterday on the show. Now, I'm not going to go through the whole interview. We don't do that. We like having you check out the interview at your own on demand on the podcast, so you can get it. But I do want to play some stuff that's relevant and topical today. AD for the Wyoming Cowboys, Tom Berman, was on this show yesterday, and the biggest headline that's now kind of reverberating across the Mountain West, it is. I'm checking this stuff today. We put it out on social media. It's popping now all over the place. Mountain West, FCS, and it's kind of rolling here. What Tom Berman of Wyoming said yesterday is I asked him about this. I essentially asked him, hey Tom, college football's changing. The big dogs have all of the money. They have all the NIL. I believe, I've been predicting on this show that there's going to be a big shift in college football. And it's not just me. I've seen others talk about this, but I projected within the next 5 years, by 2030, let's just say that, there's going to be a shift where the top 40 schools, something like that have all the money, they're going to be paying the players all of this money, and the rest of college football is going to have to figure it out. Where do they fit? And so I asked Tom Berman, the AD at Wyoming, yesterday on this show, does South Dakota State, North Dakota State, USD, the Montana schools, do these top-tier FCS schools fit more with Wyoming and Colorado State and schools like that? Are they going to be essentially in the same league in the near future? That's what I believe. That's what I think the fans would love. Can the network executives put it together? Will there be enough money? Will there be a viable league? I think that's going to happen, and there's going to be this shift of the big dogs, the huge programs, and then a really nice level where people could see these top-tier FCS schools play with some of the group of 6 FBS schools, and you have essentially a new FBS. So I asked Tom Berman of Wyoming that yesterday, and here's what he said on the record.
For a school like Wyoming, it makes a lot of sense if there was a way that a few of those schools joined the Mountain West, but it didn't make sense for everybody in the Mountain West, and that's why there wasn't an opportunity for them to join. But in the long run, I think there will be a change, and I think there will be a division that is created where the top 40-ish schools separate, and they in my opinion, they'll collectively bargain with student athletes. They will be employees, and those are budgets in the $250 to $300 million range. And then the rest of us will reconfigure where we are. And I wouldn't be surprised if that allowed for the Dakotas and the Montana schools to make some decisions.
How about that? How about that? That's what's getting a lot of attention from yesterday's program today across the Mountain West and essentially the FCS. What was that? Tom Berman, the Wyoming athletic director, nearly confirming what I've been saying and what people are thinking could happen within college football, that the best FCS programs, the Jacks, the Yotes, the Bison, the Grizz, the Bobcats, could eventually be given an opportunity to align themselves with the Wyomings and the other FBS programs that aren't a part of this 40-team Super League. That's what that sounded like to me. And you heard him in there said the teams that were part of the Mountain West, it didn't make sense at that time. Well, now the Mountain West has changed. What that sounds like to me is the San Diego States, teams like that, they didn't want the South Dakota States and North Dakota States. Why would they? For a school like Wyoming, you heard him again. Listen to him.
For a school like Wyoming, it makes a lot of sense if there was a way that a few of those schools joined the Mountain West. But
okay, that's what he's talking about. It didn't make sense at the time. Now a new Mountain West, it maybe does make sense, and especially in a new realigned group of five. He called it reconfigured group of five FBS. How does that come together? Now we have an actual AD, Tom Berman at Wyoming, come close to saying just that. The only question I have is this. He said, in the long run, I think this happens and the Dakota schools and the Montana schools can make their decisions. What's in the long run? In my world, things just happen sometimes quick in college sports. You don't see it coming and then it just explodes. Why do I say within the next 5 years? Here's what I'm saying. I've been in college sports. I've been in college administration. Within the next 5 years, it's because these schools like Wyoming, even Colorado State, Utah State, whoever you want to say, they aren't going to be able to sustain the NIL payments, the revenue-sharing payments. They're not going to be able to raise that bulldog of a revenue every year. I don't think they're going to be able to sustain staying in the same league with Ohio State and Texas and Michigan and Nebraska, who I've just named the big revenue generators. So I say they're going to want to change this quickly. Rather quickly. Why? They're also going to be forced out. They're not going to be factored into the college football playoff anymore. These group of five schools like Wyoming, they're going to have less autonomy. The Power Four is already running the show. You think they're going to keep giving a spot at the kids' table at Thanksgiving dinner for the college football playoff? You think they want to keep sharing the revenue? I don't think the big boys do. So I think the big boys are going to try and move this along as well. That's why it's just a projection on my part that within the next 5 years, I think this whole college football scene looks different. Now, here's the question for South Dakota State, USD, North Dakota State, and the Montana schools. Who's going to be ready if it happens within the next 5 years? Who's going to be ready to compete and ramp things up at that level? I mean, you're going to have to ramp things up now. Yes, there's going to be more revenue, I think, probably coming in from a better TV deal and things of that nature. But you know how much Wyoming is paying athletes all across the board this year? The Wyoming Cowboys, I just got that yesterday from Tom Berman. They're in $2.8 million across their athletic department for athletes this year. And so everyone's like, well, if Wyoming can do it, South Dakota State can do it. Well, they're not even close. That's not close right now. Wyoming's currently spending $2.8 million this year on athletes. So the FCS schools are competing on the football field. They're competing on the hard court. They're competing athletically. They got to ramp things up behind the scenes. They got to ramp things up when it comes to PR. I'm telling you, if I'm South Dakota State, USD, North Dakota State, I'm getting ready with the PR campaigns to be ready to go on why the Mountain West should invite the best FCS teams out there. So I'm doing that on the backside. I'm not just waiting around for the Mountain West to say, hey, you guys want to come in? I'm being proactive. I'm getting after it because the Mountain West is still going to ask this question, even though Tom Berman said, hey, there's kind of already been, people have been looking at this. That's pretty much what he confirmed yesterday. People have been looking at this. Didn't quite make sense then. Maybe it does here in the future. What value does North Dakota State, South Dakota State, USD, the Montana schools, what value do they bring to the new Mountain West in this new reconfigured FBS group of 5? What value do they bring? So you got to bring value. And that's where that work goes in. You can't just force the issue. Notice who he didn't mention as joining the Mountain West. I hate to tell you. Sacramento State. Sacramento State's been on this quest. We're going FBS. We're going in. We're going to get there. I don't care who we get invited. If a conference doesn't invite us, we're going. I didn't hear Sacramento State in that mix. So you got to have a plan. You got to be ready. It's what I've been saying for a while now, that Wyoming and others, they aren't going to want to pay their athletes the top-tier money like these massive programs. They can't. It's not sustainable. So there may be an opening for the best of the FCS to be proactive, join the reconfigured group of 5 in the FBS, and now Wyoming AD Tom Berman. Very interesting conversation yesterday. So if you missed that whole thing, he went into a lot. Go to the Nate Brown Show podcast. It is there. You can search the Nate Brown Show wherever you get your podcasts, and you've got us. We are live. Welcome in. Glad to have you on board. Let's go to, speaking of Power Conference, let's go to something I just noticed. Josh Pate. Do you know this name in college football? We've had him on the show. He's kind of he's been a rising college football analyst, Josh Pate, and has a great show online. I go and watch it, so I give Josh Pate a lot of credit. He's got a good thing going on. You know what Josh Pate just did this weekend? He has picked the Nebraska Huskers to be the 12th and final college football playoff team this year. People are listening to the show. Oh, the Huskers are going to be a playoff team when? 5 years? Like when the reconfigured FBS joins up? No. Josh Pate said this year, Matt Rule's 3rd year, the Huskers are going to break through. And Josh Pate put out his college football playoff projection, and he said the Huskers are the playoff team. They will get in the top 12. Now, I haven't said that on the show. I went through their schedule. I've got 4 losses for the Huskers. I've got 4. That means they go 8-4 in my book. So is 8-4 going to cut it in the college football playoff? It would not. See, even though there's 12 teams, that's not going to cut it. So Josh Pate has these guys. He told me on this show, this was a few weeks ago, I had Josh Pate on. He didn't quite put them in the playoff then, but he said, I see the Huskers 9-10 wins. 9-10 wins. That's the angle he's taking, and he puts Nebraska in the college football playoff this year. That's one of the biggest, boldest predictions I've seen. So I'll ask you the question of the day on South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Nebraska, a college football playoff team this year? Are they breaking through? No way, or they do have a shot. You look at their schedule this year, they do have a shot. What would you say? 605-720-1067. Text us on the text line. Huskers in the college football playoff. Josh Pate says yes. What do you say? 605-720-1067. I say no. How about J.D. Piquel, college football analyst? The Hard Count is his show on On3 Sports. We'll start with the Huskers and his read coming up.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. to share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
It's time for an upgrade, and don't spend a dime for 2 years. That's right, 0 zip zilch, with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 24 months. That's August 2027. Say goodbye to drafts and outdated design, and hello to our acclaimed replacement windows and our stunning ensemble entry doors. Get energy-efficient windows and doors and beautiful upgrades with zero regrets. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place? It's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps 1 minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is here when you need us. Nobody plans an injury, but when people throughout the Black Hills and beyond suffer a setback, Monument Health Orthopedics is here to provide comprehensive medical care. Our team of board-certified orthopedic surgeons and specialists is dedicated to helping patients regain the quality of life they've lost due to an injury, arthritis, or joint wear and tear. Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine for everyday athletes like you.
Hi, this is David Brenneman with Coldwell Banker, Black Hills Legacy in Rapid City. Have you thought about buying a home or real estate in the Black Hills? Maybe you want to upgrade to your forever home? I have been helping people in the Black Hills find the right home for nearly 20 years. When it comes to buying or selling, experience matters. Let me do the work and you can open the door to your new home. Say hello to a good buy with me, David Brenneman. To get started, just Google David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker.
Your sports, your show. From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
All right, welcome in. Just getting going on a Wednesday. The Nate Brown Show is on Fox Sports Radio across South Dakota. That is South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Great guest lineup tonight, from high school to college to the pros. We got you covered here. If you want to be a part of the conversation, good way to do it. So we have guests on. Good way to do it on the text line. You can send in a text anytime. Be a part of the conversation on the Barron's Wilson text line. For you, listener text line is 605-720-1067. So mark that in your phone. You can text the Nate Brown Show there, 605-720-1067. I asked you if the Huskers are a college football playoff team. There are college football analysts in this country saying that they are the 12th team in the college football playoff. I just got somebody say they will be lucky to get to 8 wins, LOL. I've got them at 8-4. I've got them at 8-4. Losses to Michigan, Penn State, Minnesota, and USC. Those are my losses, 8-4. J.D. Piquel is on, college football analyst on 3 Sports. If you want to watch his show, it is called The Hard Count. You should. It's on 3 Sports, The Hard Count. J.D., welcome in. How are you?
Doing phenomenal, man. It's starting to feel like college football outside. And whenever I say that, people are like, well, JD, it's 100 degrees where I am. It doesn't feel like fall weather. In week one, always just like unbelievably hot.
Yes.
Where we're all saying,
Yes.
what are we doing outside?
Yes.
Pleasure being on with you today. Thanks for having me on.
I appreciate you, man. So I'm going to start with the Huskers, and you just did a segment on this on the hard count. So I'm going to start with the Huskers. Let's start here. I've seen projections that put the Huskers breaking through into the college football playoff. Not one of the top seeds, but getting in last at 12. Is that over the top this year?
Not crazy at all. Not crazy at all. I heard the segue rolling in here, and I think your take versus the playoff is going to be a matter of legitimately 3 or 4 plays. Like Nebraska, we've seen this now year in and year out. It's going to come down to close games. And my opinion is I think they're a 9-3 team. I think they missed the playoff by a game. But, it really is going to come down to, is this a Matt Rule year 3 team? And is Dylan Raiola, truly in a position now where he's going to elevate the rest of the roster? And is the roster good enough to be elevated by Dylan Raiola and not having to be a situation where we're talking about, Nebraska, they're okay, but Dylan Raiola makes up for it? Is it, no, the roster is good, but they're great because of Dylan Raiola? So there's a lot of thoughts there. I think there'll be a lot of close games, and I think they'll finish with losses to Michigan, Penn State, and USC. I think they're a 9-3 football team.
Okay, very interesting. I have those losses. I slip in a Minnesota accident.
You sly dog.
Yeah.
You sly dog.
At Minnesota. You know
Can
what
you go
happens.
outside these days if you have that? Are you allowed around the Metroplex if you're putting them at 8-4? What's the pushback there? I gotta imagine it's pretty high.
Well, the thing is, people are pretty low on the Huskers because they've been burned around here. The Husker lifers are low on them. They're like, don't do this. If they get to 8 wins, we're happy. So the national projection has changed. Like, wow, Matt Rule and the Huskers might be good. The fans around here are like, I'm not so sure yet. By the way, you hit on this, JD. Dana Holgorsen. He comes in now. He's been there. Just got there last year, half of the year, or at the end of the year. Now he comes in. What do you think he does for this offense?
I think he's a wizard. I really do. I think the guy's got a degree from Hogwarts. Looking at what he's done over the course of his career is so impressive. Clayton Tune was a 3-star prospect out of high school that was his quarterback at Houston. And Clayton Tune now playing in the NFL. Clayton Tune, 3 years in a row under Dana Holgorsen, was top 25 nationally in passing in college football. Now, Dana Holgorsen is working with very different raw ingredients from what Clayton Tune is to what Dylan Raiola is. And again, this is not a slight to Clayton Tune in any way, shape, or form. That, just for me personally, gets me excited about how Dylan Raiola is going to progress with Holgorsen going into his second year as a starter. Honestly, too, Nate, watching him last year, Raiola just looked so much more confident and comfortable when Holgorsen took over the offense. Over the 4 games where he was his OC, completed 72% of his passes. And it's not just the numbers. To me, it's a lot of, going back to how he looked. He looked like he knew where he was going with the football. He looked like he was playing within himself. I think when you talk about, this second season for Holgorsen and Raiola, I get excited about the fact that it's going to truly be a Dana Holgorsen offense. I don't think a lot of people realize when Dana became the OC, he's calling the offense, but he's calling the offense with the verbiage and the personnel groupings and the pieces from the previous OC. He's not truly running his offense. He's driving someone else's car and trying to make it work.
Yeah.
Whereas this year, it will truly be his show. So I think that'll yield nothing but positive dividends.
All right, good stuff. J.D. Piquel is on tonight. Follow him at J.D. Piquel on X. A great follow. He's grown this, man, for a while. You guys at On 3 Sports are doing some good work. College football analyst, host of the Hard Count on 3 Sports. So one more on the Huskers. They play next Thursday in Kansas City at the Chiefs Arrowhead. It's Cincinnati. Is that a danger game? That's not a gimme there at all.
It's not a gimme. But if Nebraska is going to be who they think they're going to be and we think they're going to be, you need to win that game. Need to win that game. It's neutral environment. I mean, heck, it's in Arrowhead. It's essentially a home game for Dylan Raiola. All the Pat Mahomes columns, he should be comfortable. Year 3, you got to break through. You absolutely have to break through. So is it a gimme? No. Is it sneaky? Sure. But if you're going to be a team that, even if you're getting to 8 wins, you have to win a game like that. And I just think it's so huge for them to psychologically start at an advantage. You know what I mean? If they drop that game, not that they would go in the tank and that they would respond the wrong way, but I think it is very different going into your second game of the season saying, okay, let's build on the success of week 1. We figured out some good things. We validated some things to ourselves from what we did in the summer and the fall versus, okay, we're behind the 8 ball. It's okay. You're trying to talk yourself into still being who you believe you are internally. So I have confidence in Matt Rule. I have confidence in this outfit in year 3. But, no, they got to win. I think they will win.
Next Thursday night, Huskers taking on Cincinnati at Arrowhead Stadium. J.D. Piquel's on. A couple more. I'll let him roll. Let's go to this Iowa State K-State game. This is week 0. 2 teams in the Big 12. Are these really good teams? What are you seeing this weekend with this one?
I would love to sit here and say I have the Big 12 figured out. I think they're both really good teams. If anybody that is listening to this show has any insight as to who's going to win the Big 12 this year, give me a call and we'll find a way to bet this thing and make some money. But, man, I mean, it is truly just anyone's game in the Big 12, and the fact that these 2 teams start conference play in international waters, I don't envy them at all. I'm going to lean Kansas State if you're asking for a pick there, if anyone was curious. I just think they're more dynamic. On paper, Iowa State's just replacing a good amount of production on the perimeter, losing 2,000-yard receivers. So I wonder how they kind of reinvent the wheel. I think both are good teams. I think both will probably be in the mix in the month of November to play for the conference. But that's not saying a whole lot because a year ago we're doing the Pythagorean theorem and quadratic formulas to figure out who's going to have a shot the last week of the season. So both good teams, I'll take Kansas State to win.
Okay, and you say Big 12, you don't know who is the best. You really don't.
I'll take Baylor. I think that they have the most workable path in the month of November. And using last year as a guide, it's probably going to come down to November. Baylor does not play a team that made a bowl game last year, their last 4 games. Now, Utah is part of that group. I think Utah's going to be much better. But with that being the parameter I'm working with here, I think that plus Sawyer Robertson, who's back for them, who's done a phenomenal job in not even a full season as the guy in Waco. I think that Dave Aranda coach team is going to be the team that's there at the end. I think they'll play TCU for the record. I think Josh Hoover's awesome out there, their quarterback. But I think Baylor's the team that is the last one standing in the carnage of the Big 12, the Squid Game that is the Big 12. I think that Baylor's the last team standing, and they end up playing in the college football playoff.
J.D. Piquel on tonight from On3 Sports. His show is The Hard Count. Follow him at J.D. Piquel. You did not mention the Colorado Buffs. Do the Buffs fall off the ledge?
I don't think they do. It's funny because we're talking Big 12, and I'm like, it's going to be all over the place. I really think they're all going to beat the heck out of each other. I don't think they fall off the ledge. I have them at 8-4 going into this season. I think that roster is a lot better than we have a gauge for right now because it's a lot of names we don't know. And obviously, you lose a Shedeur and you lose a Travis. There's going to be some sort of potential for a setback there, but I really like what they did in the portal. They didn't go super heavily after the same volume they have the last couple of years. Still a lot of guys, but grabbing a Caden Salter, grabbing a guy named Joe Williams, who was the freshman of the year in the American Athletic Conference a year ago for Tulsa. He's going to be playing receiver. They got a lot of guys that I think will kind of moneyball their way back to some of that production they lost with Travis Hunter. I think they'll still be in the mix. Everyone's going to be in the mix at the end of the season here for the Big 12, but I got it 8-4.
Last one for J.D. Piquel. I got to get your read on the biggest game. It's week 1, Texas, Ohio State. I'm hearing Texas is better. Well, they're ranked below them, but everybody said, well, they're favored. They're better. Well, they got Jeremiah Smith over there at Ohio State. They got Caleb Downs. I mean, they got some players. So who is better next week?
Texas will be better next week, and the reason why, the continuity that Texas has on their staff, I think has created a standard internally that Steve Sarkisian has proven he is able to replicate year in and year out with what his teams are. Like, new pieces on the offensive line, new pieces at receiver, new pieces on the defense. I just think that they've stockpiled so much talent, and they have, again, that standard in place to where I don't expect Texas to deviate too much from the standard they've really put in place over the course of really the last 2 seasons under Steve Sarkisian. Other thing I like here, Arch Manning, having sat for 2 years, I think he is as ready as you can be for a first-year starting quarterback in college football. And even if he can't throw it a ton, even if that secondary for Ohio State's all over the place, I love what he is as a runner, and I think the break last in case of emergency for Texas, that plan is better than Ohio State's plan. I like kind of a low-ish scoring affair, not in the 30s, but kind of, mid-20s kind of game. I think he's having the game.
Is it a big question mark with Ohio State's quarterback Julian Sand? He was a top prospect, top recruit, transfers from Alabama. Is he a big question mark right now?
I think he's a question mark until he plays, obviously, which isn't saying too much. I don't have a ton of concern around Julian Sand. And correlation isn't causation, but correlation probably deserves some attention here. Ohio State just doesn't have bad quarterbacks. Like, even Kyle McCord was getting all, the jokes on social media and called him Honda McCord this and Honda McCord that, and then he led the country in passing last year at Syracuse. So, I trust Ryan Day to go acquire a top-tier quarterback. Ohio State has not had a quarterback not lead the Big Ten in passing, all but 1 year, which was Kyle McCord's year, since 2017 or something ridiculous. So I think there will probably be a process for him to get up to speed as being a true dude for Ohio State. The unfortunate reality is you open with one of the better defenses in college football in Texas. So I don't know that he's going to come out and just be the guy from the jump for Ohio State and look like it was C.J. Stroud out there once again for them. But I do think that he is, by the month of October, going to find his footing, and we'll all be sitting here saying, well, Ohio State's got one of the better quarterbacks in the country because, of course, they do. It's Ohio State.
J.D. Piquel, that's good stuff, getting us juiced and ready. The Hard Count is the show on 3 Sports. College football analyst. Find him on X at J.D. Piquel. Man, doing good work. I appreciate you hopping in South Dakota Sports Talk Show.
Hey, appreciate you having me. Be safe out here with the 8-4. I just want you to be safe. I know there's a lot of passionate fans out there, but thanks for having me on, man. Always a pleasure.
Appreciate your time. Good to have him on. We'll try and do it. He's really got a following going. He's got a good show on 3 Sports. College football analyst. The show is The Hard Count with J.D. Piquel. Find him on X at J.D. Piquel. Follow him if you're not. Yeah, I mean, that's a fair projection for me. I've got the Huskers at 8-4. I had Iowa at 7-5. So just so everybody's aware, I'm on record. If you missed some of these shows, I'm on record. I'm not scared. Okay? Thanks for your attention to this matter. Okay? Iowa 7-5. Huskers 8-4. That's my projection. But how about J.D. Piquel? He has them at 9-3. 9-3. My goodness. Did we think Nebraska was going to explode on the 2025 scene? So my question of the day, Josh Pate, who was also doing some work with On 3 Sports. Josh Pate, college football analyst. He's a really good guy. He's been on this show before. He just put out his playoff projection. He actually has the Huskers in the college football playoff. It's the last team, number 12, but he's got them in. So my question of the day tonight, are you on board with the Huskers breaking through into the college football playoff? I didn't quite think we'd take it that far. I'm not. Josh Pate is. What do you say? No way, no how? Or look at their schedule. They have a shot. 605-720-1067. What's your read on this? Husker fans and Husker haters, you're out there. I know it. We just had a 5-win projection. Yeah, we've been there, done that. We've been there, done that. Let's not be crazy today. But you tell me, no way, no how for the college football playoff, or they have a shot. Huskers, 605-720-1067 on the text line here on the Nate Brown Show. Send them in. We'll get to the question of the day coming up. Craig Maddock is in next from SDPB Sports. A lot to discuss with South Dakota longtime sports broadcaster from Sioux Falls coming up.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
There's nothing like it. not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
It's time for an upgrade, and don't spend a dime for 2 years. That's right, 0 zip zilch, with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 24 months. That's August 2027. Say goodbye to drafts and outdated design, and hello to our acclaimed replacement windows and our stunning ensemble entry doors. Get energy-efficient windows and doors and beautiful upgrades with zero regrets. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place that's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
If you're looking for internet, TV, security systems, or cell booster systems, why would you look at a company that only gives you one choice for each of these systems? Wirefree USA offers it all. Viasat, Hughes, CenturyLink, Dish TV, DirecTV, Wilson Cell Booster Systems, and now Starlink and Equistar Internet Systems. Starlink and Equistar are the newest, the fastest, and the strongest satellite internet made. No limit, no contract. Wirefree USA has it. Call 605-341-5361. Whatever your home or business needs are, call Wirefree USA for the products and the service. You don't need training wheels with our system. Connect to the future with Wirefree USA at 605-341-5361. We are hometown, we are South Dakota, and we do appreciate your business. 605-341-5361. See us at our new location, 710 North La Crosse Street in Rapid City.
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown.
South Dakota Sports Talk Show up back on a Wednesday. Glad you're here. How you doing? A little hot? Careful out there. It's hot. It's hot. The Nate Brown Show is on Fox Sports Radio. Good guest lineup tonight. John Thayer's coming up, voice of the Coyotes. Coyotes Sports Network. John Thayer talking USD straight ahead. Our high school football preview tonight is from Pierre, South Dakota, home of the Governors. Can they get back on top and win another state championship? Steve Steele's coming up, head coach in Pierre. Would they win 8 in a row? Did they win 8 in a row? They got knocked off by Watertown last year. Craig Maddox on tonight. East River meets West River. SDPB Sports. Craig, it's a big day for you. How are you today?
I'm good. It's always a big day when you let me be on the radio, on your program.
You're on the radio. It's your birthday today. Let's not mess around. Craig Maddox putting in some work. Happy birthday to my longtime friend. Great to see you last week, and we had a good discussion. Now, We discuss a lot of things, and it felt like when we were just meeting up last week, we were just discussing like we're on this show. And then I was told by somebody that listens to you, they listen to you on this program, they say, Craig's a little edgy. He's a little edgy when he comes on your show. What do you say about that?
Well, when you have all these birthdays, you get a little more edgier every year. Isn't that how it's supposed to work out?
Okay.
No, I've never been afraid of being edgy. Never have. That's how success works in the radio business, sports talk radio. You can't hold back. You got to give what you feel, and be able to do that. If I'm doing a ball game, a high school game, I can't call a kid trashy. There's other ways to go about it.
Sure.
Like they're having a tough day.
Yeah.
That would be a better phrase. But no, I have no problem. Even if it's my Minnesota Vikings, I'll trash them too if they need it.
I know that. You can trash me here on this program anytime. Let's have at it. Okay, speaking of high school football, and speaking of opinion, here's what I've got. We got to do something. There's two big flaws in the high school football system. And I've talked to you about this, and I'm going to keep on saying this. One big flaw is there's too many classes. We have too many classes. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. That
was quite the pause there, but yes.
Too many classes, meaning I would get rid of a 9-man. I think you could, and I think you could get rid of an 11-man. Would 5 classes cut it or not?
I think that would be the ultimum, but it's not going to happen because right now the 9-man teams, they rule the decisions on how many classes we have. I mean, there's 100 football teams that play 9-man football. Okay, 100. I think it might be a little more than 100 that play 9-man football. So you're going to say we're going to have one 9-man class amongst 100 schools that will fight to make maybe 8 playoff spots, 16. It's not going to happen. 9B and 9A, they got a lot of power. And as long as most of those ADs and coaches are around, they're going to stay with 3 9-man classes. Now, I would be okay if one of those was a 6-man class.
Yes.
I would love to see 9B become 6-man football. I think that would be good. Then you have, you split up, 60-some, 70-some other 9-man teams that divide the 9-man classes. It all comes down to numbers. In the 11-man, I don't ever see 11B and 11A combining because of the numbers with that as well. It's just a weird geography that we have. And I think 7 is going to be here to stay for a while.
I'm with you on it. I mean, it's just, that's the age-old argument is we have too many classes, and when we created another class, an 11-man, it watered it down. So they won't change it. I get that. Here's something we can change. Are you ready? My other thing. Here's something we can change. The Douglas Patriots have played football in the past 5 years. They've won 1 game. The only reason they're in 11AA, the Douglas Patriots. They got to play Pierre and Watertown. They have enrollment. We only look at male enrollment, and we think your team is supposed to be good. Hey, you have a bunch of males at your school. You got a good football team, right? Well, no, they don't have a culture. They don't have a program. They don't have any success. They don't have numbers. We need a success factor. Would you allow a data point to be put in like North Dakota does of teams that haven't won, that haven't been to the playoffs, that haven't done anything, be able to move down? I'm off the thing moving up. We don't have to move teams up. Get rid of that. I don't want to move teams up. Only move teams down. Would you be willing to support that?
I am willing to take a look at it. I still haven't studied it because there hasn't been a major push to get it done.
Except for
Douglas,
me.
I'm going to give Douglas some kudos here. I mean, let's face it, the air base, Ellsworth Air Force Base, that place is only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger over the years to come, and that enrollment is going to get a lot bigger. And I expect the Douglas football program to become a lot better here in the next couple of years. I mean, when we remember, Sturgis, they were struggling pretty good with football. at one time. They have they're making a comeback. They're becoming competitive. So I don't know. I got to look at what other schools are doing, and what is that magical number? Is it a winning percentage? Is it making playoffs? Just wins? I really haven't had a strong look at it yet.
I have to have the Activities Association. They put it on their board goals to look at a success factor like other states, and North Dakota has one, and they move teams down based on over the years. Here's the winning. Here's the playoffs. I'm going to tell you, Douglas will keep on growing in students. The football program, I was just told by another coach, this isn't within the program, it was another coach, he told me, I don't know if that program is even sustainable. I don't even know if it's sustainable right now. That's a bad sign. I just want.
Well, I would just look at the numbers that are going to be coming in. I'm going to give it a chance. I'm certainly going to give it a chance. Speaking of getting a chance, if you really look at the classes, all of the classes, let's just talk about all the classes except 11 AAA and 11 AA, because you do have it's just a smaller class. You look at all of the other classes. You look at football every year, there's really only maybe 4 or 5 teams in each class every year that have a chance to get to the Dome. The rest have not been there in decades and may not get there. You just look at it and look at the history. Maybe 5 or 6 teams in all the classes except AAA and AA maybe will make the playoffs, but the rest of them, for some reason, it has been a struggle to get football programs going in some of those towns.
Yeah, you're right on that. Craig Maddox on tonight from SDPB Sports. His podcast coming out. It's called In Play from SDPB Sports. A couple more here. South Dakota State just announced yesterday they're going to let their students in for free at all home regular season games. Football, basketball, volleyball, anything. South Dakota State said, just request a ticket, you get in for free. USD has done this. Is this the right call? Building the crowd.
It is the right call. Plus, they might as well get in free. I mean, part of their money that they're paying to go to college there, portion of that is going to the athletic department. So you might as well let them in. The more, the better. And I think that builds some strong togetherness with the students and whatever sport it may be.
Would you recommend high schools going down this road to build a student body at games? Should high schools let students in for free?
Probably, I would let the seniors in for free. How about that?
You're always the seniors. You paid your due. They haven't been going to games for 3 years. They don't want to go when they're a senior.
That's okay. I don't know what the money is when it comes to the high school.
It's
how much
tight.
money they're making on the students. It's not the biggest, I can tell you that. And to me, if you're having problems getting your students to games, that is something you should give them a huge discount or maybe get in free.
I agree with that. I thought, hey, what if high schools did this? Would it help? I said, why not let high schools let the students in for free? See if it helps.
Just charge more at the concession stand.
Oh, there you go. Yes, that's the makeup. By the way, the Brookings Register, the Huron Plainsman newspapers. Did you see this? They got taken. They got purchased. They got saved by a company called Champion Media. So Champion Media comes in. They own a bunch of newspapers out of North Carolina. And will they make it now? Brookings Register, for example, it's back. Will they make it?
I sure hope so, but they got a long road ahead of them. I mean, I think the Brookings paper, I saw that they had, 7 or 8 employees on the front page. The only way they're going to survive, ad revenue, and if they are looking for paid subscriptions, the community's got to come forward. I'm not so sure that that's going to happen.
Well, it's interesting, Craig. The community was so upset, and people were so upset when it was gone, rightfully so. But as you said, it's the community that has to step forward.
They'll put their money where their mouth is.
Yep, it really is. I think Brookings should have a newspaper, no doubt. Craig Maddox on tonight, SDPB Sports birthday, and in place, getting ready to go as the fall sports season arrives, right?
Year 6 of in play coming up here mid-September. So looking forward to giving you more details on that there, Mr. Brown.
Thanks for spending time with me, man. Enjoy your evening. I appreciate you.
All right, Nate. Later.
Thanks. Craig Maddox, SDPB Sports, longtime Sioux Falls broadcaster. East River meets West River on the Nate Brown Show tonight. We ran through a lot there. Of course, you should let high school students in for free, but I'm not the one running the budget. I'm not the AD who has to worry about the budget, but that's it. So maybe I'll fight for that. High school students in for free, and Matt Kearney wants the 6-man football class, so he's got that. I want high school students in for free at games, and then I want a success factor for teams that have won one game in the last 5 years. You're telling me that they have to play against perennial powers and they don't have any numbers, they don't have a shot at success? Got to have a new data system implemented along with enrollment for high school football classification. I mean, we got it. It's 2025 here. All right. Coming right back with a question of the day. Are youth sports helping the family or are they damaging the family? A cable news morning show was discussing. This is a treat. Next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Text scams continue to rise, and victims who have lost money to these scams continues to increase. Consumers cannot rely on a text message to be truthful. If you receive a message regarding a fine for missing jury duty, your utilities being shut off for non-payment, toll road fines, or you've won a sweepstakes, these are scams designed with an urgency and the need to send money now. Do not respond to these texts, and you should contact Consumer Protection at 800-300-1986. That's 800-300-1986 for the South Dakota Office of Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division.
Hey, Sioux Falls sports fans, there's a great new sports bar in Sioux Falls, Boston's Restaurant and Sports Bar on West Russell Street in the Ramada Water Park Hotel. If you want to watch games, UFC, they've got it, wall-to-wall TVs, and the best part, great food. Gourmet pizza at Boston's, tons of wing options, great burgers, and a lot more. Bring the family, bring the team, bring your crew to the new Boston's Restaurant and Sports Bar in Sioux Falls on West Russell Street. Plus, you can order online for lunch or dinner. Just go to bostons.com.
The wait is over. We've begun closing out our 2025 models at Spearfish GMC Cadillac to make room for the 2026 models. Discounts and rebates are great on all 2025 models, but don't wait because stock is limited. New Sierra 1500 up to $67.50 off. Remaining 25 Sierra HDs starting at just $52,630. Plus, just arrived a great selection of the all-new GMC Acadia. Spearfish GMC Cadillac. Online always at spearfishmotors.com.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. A heat advisory continues until 7 p.m. tonight. Mainly clear skies tonight with a low of 72. South winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Tomorrow, slight chance of thunderstorms. Daytime highs approaching 87. Chance of thunderstorms tomorrow night 61. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, it's 96 degrees.
Being in business has its rewards as well as its challenges. It means being the first one in the door in the morning and turning off the lights when you leave at night. Your business is unique, and you need a bank that understands your needs. You deserve the best. You need a financial partner that is invested in your success. You need Pioneer Bank and Trust. Don't settle. Pioneer. Pioneer Bank and Trust. Local.
Pioneer Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Hey golfers, have you experienced Elkhorn Ridge Golf Club? Golf Digest ranked Elkhorn Ridge Golf Club the #1 public course in South Dakota. Off Exit 17 in Spearfish, Elkhorn Ridge offers a golfing experience second to none. Play their 18-hole championship layout with your buddies. Stop into Miller Creek Pub for some drinks, or bring the family out for lunch and try out the new putting green right below Miller Creek Pub. Elkhorn Ridge Golf Club has it all. Book your next tee time at elkhornridgeresort.com.
The doctors and staff at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center have provided expert bone, joint, and muscle care to patients in the Black Hills area since 1976. Whether you're an elite athlete, a weekend warrior, or just want to continue your active lifestyle, the orthopedic experts at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center will help you stay in the game. Don't let an injury keep you from doing the things you love. Trust the team at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center, specializing in what moves you. Learn more at bhosc.com.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show, also streaming right now on X. Follow us and watch the show live at Nate Brown Show.
Hey, welcome back in. The Nate Brown Show is on tonight. Glad you're here. Thanks for making this show possible. We appreciate you and our sponsors across South Dakota. South Dakota Sports Talk Show live every afternoon drive on Fox Sports Radio. Stream us on X as well if you're on there, at Nate Brown Show. Follow the show and watch us live. You don't miss anything there. You got the live show, the archive show, the questions of the day, the South Dakota Sports News. So follow us at Nate Brown Show and then watch us live each day on your phone if you're out of radio range. Okay, so let's have at it here. Let's have at it. Cable news morning shows. They're quirky. They're goofy. They are goofy. They do a bunch of weird stuff, right? So maybe I shouldn't take this serious, but you know, people watch these. People watch cable news morning shows, and you know, I here's one thing I watch. Here's what I watch. I only watch sports and news like 95% of the time. I'll stream a movie. I'll stream a show. My wife says, hey, this show's good. This show's good. We'll do that. I'll do that 5% of the time. So I'm a news guy. I'm a sports guy. The cable news morning shows are goofy. They bring up all sorts of stuff. And so here's one this week that was debating youth sports. Are competitive youth sports damaging families? Okay, hang on a second. Hang on a second before you go crazy. Because people are going to say, wait. This is true. Too much money, too much pressure, too much travel, too much stress, too many commitments. These are kids. I know all these lines. I know all these lines. This is one of those cable news morning shows. Are competitive youth sports damaging the family? And then the host, she went on and she was going back and forth. She's like, are the youth sports, they teach our kids skills and to be competitive and to grow? Or are they really taking us away from family time at the dinner table and quality family time and nothing to do on the weekends and stuff like that? That was the debate she was having. Let me just tell you this. I understand the money game. I understand the money grabs. I understand this elite league and this elite league. You got to get to this. You got to do that. If you win this elite league, you're the best in the country. Sure. I mean, I understand all these things. But if we're trying to hammer youth sports as like damaging the family, there's way more things that actually damage the family. There's way more things. The competitive youth sports side, if you do it right, it's actually something that kids and families should be able to spend time with, on the road, enjoying it. If you do it right, there's going to be some stresses. You have to have the financial capabilities, all of that stuff. I mean, you can't go over your skis here. So when measured on it, it's a fine activity. It's a good activity. I mean, kids playing sports is a good thing. Yet sometimes I think here's a cable news morning show. It's like, competitive youth sports, it's the damn thing, worst thing in the world. Give me a break. So it's actually a good thing, kids playing sports, learning, doing it right. And I said, be measured with it. Don't go over your skis. Don't sell the house. Don't go to IMG. Now, I'm serious about that. Wait, I went to, my kid went to IMG. I'm just telling you, not all of us are going to be pro athletes. So don't go to IMG Football Academy and, sell your high school career away. So just do it measured. kids playing sports is a good thing, not a bad thing. And by the way, damaging the family, she was debating, it takes us away from quality family time. What do you mean, like when your kids are on their phone doing nothing? Because if you're honest, you aren't sitting down at the dinner table that much anymore. They're on their phone. Everybody's doing, we would have a Little House on the Prairie dinner. We'd have dinner if we weren't in competitive youth sports. No, you'd have phone, grab fast food, and call it good. That's what I'm saying, okay? So let's not get into the trap of competitive youth sports is damaging the family. Well, if you do it right, spend quality family time. You don't have to take vacations to do youth sports. I'm not telling you that. Have quality family time when you're on the road at a tournament, when you're having a great experience and supporting your kid, learning life lessons, and you get into the right situation, it's usually a good thing, not a bad thing. And I think we sometimes, put a blanket over just one thing and we say, it's taken away from quality family time. No, it's not. It's not. Let's see. Listener text, youth sports is the best thing that has happened to my family. How about that? There's a listener text just now. I don't know if it's the best thing that's happened to my family because I'm coaching 7th grade girls basketball. No, it's enjoyable. I get paid a lot. I get paid so much money to coach 7th grade girls basketball. It's just elevated my life with my money. No. I do it because I love it. I do it because it's fun. I do it because you can help kids, hopefully, learn on the court, off the court. That's why we do this. So there's a lot of things that kids can do these days. And if they're not out at practice, I don't know what they're doing. I'd rather be at practice. I'd rather be at youth games than trying to figure out sometimes what kids are doing. Coming right back into the second hour, 5 questions from Chris tonight. Hey, it's a Wednesday. Chris, our loyal listener, sends them in. He's got 5 questions for me. I've got 5 answers coming up.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Mom, can we please go to Waitiki Indoor Water Park Resort?
Waitiki? What's so special about it?
Are you kidding? It's got slides, fountains, a lazy river, everything. And it's just a short drive to Rapid City. If we stay at one of the hotels, we get water park passes for free.
Wow, you really did your homework. Okay, what do you say we pack our swimsuits and hit Waitiki this weekend?
Yes, best mom ever.
Unlock your adventure at WaitikiWaterPark.com.
At Dakota Bank, we're more than just a place to bank. We're your neighbors. From everyday banking to home mortgages, insurance, and trust services, we're here for every step of your financial journey. We believe in doing what's right for you because we live here, work here, and care about our communities just like you do. Go with confidence, go with trust, go with Dakota Bank. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Insurance and investment products are not FDIC insured, may lose value, and have no bank guarantee.
There's summer, and then there's Murphy's in the summer. Nothing beats it. The food, the drinks, the atmosphere. Whether you're soaking up sunshine on the patio or hanging inside with friends, Murphy's brings the good vibes all season long. Amazing food, cold beers, summer cocktails, live music on the patio, a crew that treats you right, and yes, even a late night menu every Friday and Saturday night. When you're thinking summer in Rapid City, there's only one move, Murphy's. Visit murphyspubandgrill.com. Murphy's, a Rapid City icon.
It's another exciting season of high school football action beginning Friday on Fox Sports Rapid City. 2 of the top teams in Class 11B go head-to-head as the St. Thomas More Cavaliers battle the Sioux Valley Cossacks at Dutton Field in Rapid City. Join Dean Gurr and me, Jerome Wickersham, for the pregame show at 4:45, followed by the kickoff at 5. Catch St. Thomas More and Sioux Valley in high school football action Friday right here on Fox Sports Rapid City.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Collins Siding has been the region's premier window siding, door, and gutter installation specialist since 1974. They use only the highest quality materials and never compromise on their workmanship. Collins Siding is licensed, bonded, and their estimates always include labor, materials, and applicable permits and taxes. Collins Siding has been providing top quality service and exceeding high standards for over 45 years, and you can find out how by visiting them at 2016 Cherry Avenue. Collins Siding, 2016 Cherry Avenue, Rapid City.
We're talking with Britt Wickett at Elevate Performance Physical Therapy for an Elevate Performance Health Minute. Britt, one of the injuries we hear a lot about in sports, an ACL tear. You can't prevent all injuries, but good sports performance training could help.
Yeah, Nate, one of the things that a lot of good sports performance training focuses on is trying to not only prepare athletes for the field of sport, but also try to mitigate their risk to sustain an injury. Unfortunately, things happen in sport. If anybody ever does experience an ACL tear that results in needing a surgery to fix that, it's important to have a therapist on your side who can help them through prehab, rehab, and then return to sport. It's a marathon, not a sprint. It takes a long time to get back to the field of sport, but it's not impossible to do it all by any means. So just having that end goal in mind can be really beneficial for the rehab process.
When it comes to ACLs and sports performance training and treatment, get started at elevateperformancesd.com.
This is the Nate Brown Show. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, good stuff tonight. Welcome in. The Nate Brown Show is on Fox Sports Radio. It is South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Glad you're here. Two good guests coming up tonight. We will talk to USD play-by-play man John Thayer tonight. We'll go to the Coyote Sports Network. Let's preview USD football. Also, they just got a massive donation yesterday to build a brand new indoor track and field facility from Denny Sanford. So John Thayer's coming up. Voice of the Yotes, Coyote Sports Network straight ahead, talking FCS and Yote football. And then we're into the high school football season. You know that. We've been previewing all of the programs, some of the top programs around South Dakota. We had Matt Christensen at Brandon Valley. They look good in AAA. We had Jared Fredenberg at Lincoln yesterday. And Steve Steele tonight over in Pierre. Pierre head football coach Steve Steele coming up talking Governor football. The Nate Brown Show inviting you on if you want in. Pizza Ranch studio hotline's open, 605-720-1067. That's the Pizza Ranch studio hotline powered by the Pizza Ranch. Locations at East 10th Street in Sioux Falls, in Brandon, and 2 locations in Rapid City. The Pizza Ranch Buffet, home of everyone's favorite buffet. Text line's open as well. Same number. If you can't call, you can text 605-720-1067. We had some Husker fans checking in tonight. Let's go to the text line on the Husker expectation this season. Listener text, hey, Nate, Husker fan here. As far as the Husker schedule and predicting their record, they haven't beaten the Gophers or the Hawkeyes in the same season since 1983. So chalk up at least one loss from one of those two. All right. I don't have Nebraska beating Minnesota. That's just one of those danger games. That's one of those look-through games. It's like it's at Minnesota. All of a sudden, P.J. Fleck has his shirt off. He's running down the sideline, rowing the boat, and the Huskers lose. I can just see it. So I've got the Huskers at 8-4. I don't have them as a college football playoff team like college football analyst Josh Pate, who just released his playoff field, and he put Nebraska in his top 12 in the college football playoff. I don't have that. What I do have tonight is a question of the day for you. Is travel youth sports ultimately good, or do they damage the family? Cable News Morning Show debate. I was listening to the host going, you guys are clueless. Cable News Morning Show debate. Travel youth sports, are they ultimately more good, or do they do more damage to the family? They say family time and family dinners and do nothing weekends and stuff like that. I don't know about you. I didn't have do nothing weekends as a kid. I was like working if I didn't have anything to do. Well, my mom would let me play wiffle ball. We'd have wiffle ball tournaments. Those are great, but We had to do some work, man. Snap some beans. Get out in the garden. Get going. So we don't need do-nothing weekends. Let's play some sports, learn some lessons, compete. 53% of the audience is voting tonight. They're more damaging to the family is what the audience says on my poll on Twitter. 53% say youth sports are more damaging to the family. 47% say they ultimately are more good for the kids and family. It's ultimately more good. They ultimately do more good. There's bad things along the way, sure. But of course they're ultimately more good than bad. Okay, Wednesday on the Nate Brown Show. Let's do this.
It's time for 5 questions from Chris on the Nate Brown Show.
Are you ready, Chris? Our loyal listener is Chris. He's been with us from the start. He sends me 5 questions every week. We call it, original name, 5 Questions from Chris. Question number 1. Nate, Rob Manfred, Major League Baseball commissioner, said on Sunday Night Baseball that MLB could have a radical realignment if they expand the league. That means maybe getting rid of the National League and American League and realigning by geography. Nate, what should be totally off limits in the commissioner's office? Getting rid of the American and National League or moving teams around from one league to the other, like the Red Sox or Tigers over to the National League or the Braves over to the American League? So which one's worse? I think you got to keep the American and National Leagues. I want to keep the American and National Leagues, and I'm okay with moving teams around, Chris. I am okay with moving teams around. Keep the tradition of the American and National League because they still play each other now anyway. We got interleague play all the time. But let's have better divisions. Let's have geographical divisions. They have to be good, but I'm willing to look at it. Keep the American and National League names, change the divisions. I'm okay with that. Send the Rockies to minor league. Anyway, question number 2. Greg Olsen, the former tight end for the Carolina Panthers and color man for Fox NFL, said during the pregame meetings with head coaches that he does and team executives, he can tell which teams have good coaches and executives and which teams are making things up as they go along. Nate, if Greg Olsen can tell this, which is more alarming? Knowing your coaching staff has no clue or the front office personnel has no clue? They're both alarming, Chris. Let me just say that. If he can tell that, it's like, these guys are bad. This is a bad deal. But which one's worse? Your coaching staff bad, front office bad? I think many front offices are bad. So I'm going to go with the coaches on this. You have to have a coach. You have to have a competent coach that runs the show, that has the respect of the players. These are the guys in the trenches. The front office is clueless. They're up in the front office. They make bad decisions. Everybody does. So there's a lot of clueless front offices. So you got to get the coach right. That matters on the field big time. Question number 3. 5 questions from Chris tonight. Anthony Richardson with the Colts. It looks like his time may be over. Daniel Jones named the starting quarterback this week. Nate, should the Steelers offer a trade package for Anthony Richardson, or he could come in and learn from Aaron Rodgers and maybe take over? That's not a bad thought. I'll give you that, Chris. I mean, I don't know what the Steelers' plan is, so don't trade much, but Anthony Richardson's a beast of a physical quarterback. It's like 240. I mean, the guy's unreal. So they gave up on him pretty quick in Indianapolis. I mean, if you put a trade package together for the Pittsburgh Steelers, you know Aaron Rodgers only has 1 more year. That's it. So that's not a bad idea. It's a way better idea, Chris, for the Steelers than what I was listening to on Denver Sports Radio today. Denver Sports Radio was saying, hey, maybe the Broncos and Sean Payton should look at bringing in Anthony Richardson to come in and be the backup for Bo Nix. Huh? Anyway, question number 4. The English Premier League season just started over the weekend. Yes, Chris, I watched an English Premier League game. The English Premier League forbids any of their matches to be on foreign soil, Nate. And the North American pro soccer leagues want to make big pushes to expand their fans outside of this market. So who do you think has the right philosophy to reach fans? Well, the English Premier League is like the best of the best. It seems like it's been working. They don't have to go off of their soil. They don't have to play games here. Fans follow. The soccer fans are a unique bunch, man. They are passionate. They get in with the favorite teams. And this English Premier League is really good soccer. If I'm sitting here watching it on the weekend, you know it's good soccer. I'm a soccer fan, but I'm a new fan relatively. English Premier League has it going on. North American leagues, MLS, stuff like that, just behind. Question number 5. The University of Indiana is bringing back their mascot. It's a bison. Okay. After 50 years of retirement, the university, the Hoosiers, are bringing back the bison mascot. Do you think this time their mascot sticks around, or will it be collecting dust again? The university's bringing back their mascots. Well, you got to have a mascot. You have to have a mascot. I couldn't tell you what the University of Indiana Hoosier mascot was. A bison? Thanks. You learn something every day, Chris. I appreciate that. But you have to have a mascot. If you don't have a mascot, you don't have a school. Remember that. 5 questions from Chris in the books. John Thayer's up next. He's the voice of the South Dakota Coyotes. Coming up.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
It's time for an upgrade, and don't spend a dime for 2 years. That's right, 0 zip zilch, with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 24 months. That's August 2027. Say goodbye to drafts and outdated design, and hello to our acclaimed replacement windows and our stunning ensemble entry doors. Get energy-efficient windows and doors and beautiful upgrades with 0 regrets. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place that's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute, and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
Pretty quick. That's where Black Hills Urgent Care comes in. No appointments needed, no long waits, just fast, affordable care to get you feeling better quicker. Black Hills Urgent Care has 2 locations in Rapid City on Haynes Avenue and Mountain View Road. You can simply check in online at bhucare.com. That's with the letter U, bhucare.com. When you need care, see the team at Black Hills Urgent Care, the faster way to get better.
Stuck in a state of falling behind? Struggling to keep up with your kids, your finances, your insurance, your life? This is State Farm Agent Matt McCormick. Let me help you simplify and get to a better state. With me handling your auto, home, and life insurance, you'll have more time to handle everything else. Even more money, too. Because adding State Farm policies can earn discounts that could add up to 40%. Call me, State Farm Agent Matt McCormick, and get to a better state with State Farm. 348-0464.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's sports talk.
Hey, hope you're having a good day. Thanks for making us a part of it. Wednesday edition of the program on Fox Sports Radio. It's South Dakota Sports Talk Show live every afternoon drive. The Nate Brown Show. Follow us on X. Watch the show there at Nate Brown Show on X. One more place, YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. We'd appreciate it. Give us a little street cred with the homies. A little street cred. At Nate Brown Show, right? That's where you find us on YouTube. The Nate Brown Show. Okay? By the way, interesting stuff tonight with a great guest lineup. We had a really interesting conversation with Tom Berman at University of Wyoming yesterday, the athletic director, and starting to catch a lot of attention across the Midwest here. So go to the Nate Brown Show podcast if you missed some of the guests. Maybe you like the high school stuff. Maybe you want college. Maybe you want pros. We try and cover it all from high school to college to the pros. The Nate Brown Show podcast. Search for it. The Nate Brown Show podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. Hey, John Thayer's on tonight. He's the voice of the Coyotes. He's in tonight. Let's go. Coyote Sports Network getting set for a busy fall sports season. Coyote football coming up. Iowa State. Look out. John, welcome in. How are you?
Hey, Nate, I'm great. How are you doing?
Doing good, man. Appreciate you hopping in. I'm like, man, we got to get John on. We got to talk USD and get this baby cranking a little bit. So let's start with USD football. Changes. Coach Johansson. Players gone, but a quarterback that's back. How good is Aiden Bauman, and what type of leader is he going to be?
Man, I like Aiden a lot. You know, I liked him a lot last year, and I think he's just gotten better. And he's changed his body a little bit. I think he's down somewhere around 15 to 20 pounds, just kind of leaned up a little bit. His decision-making is crisp, and he is the leader, and he knows he has to be. You know, you're well aware of his bloodline, so I think leadership kind of runs in the family. His dad was a quarterback in the NFL for a while, and Aiden just he's continued to grow the last few years, and I really like him. You can see it at practice, certainly with, he's got some guys that are going to catch passes this year that aren't as familiar as what he had a year ago, right? With guys like Carter Bell and J.J. Galbraith. But you can tell he's working with these guys, and he's a guy who wants to win and knows that it starts with him if this team is going to have success.
Okay, so here's a tough question on Aiden Bauman. He's had great numbers. He brought USD back, and he had a lot of help here. He had some great players with him, and they made deep into the playoffs last year. But I still feel like he's undervalued with FCS quarterbacks. I think people would say, well, he's one of the top ones, but people talk a ton about Chase Mason, and then they're wondering what's going to happen at NDSU. I'm sitting here, I'm wondering, is Aiden Bauman, by his body of work, is he the best in the country?
Yeah, I mean, he'll have a chance to do that, right? Like, he's a guy that's not going to get too caught up in the outside noise and opinions and some of that stuff, and I think I really respect that, and I think a lot of college athletes are that way, to be honest. You know, they hear the noise, they certainly see it, right? Because they're all on social media, but you can't get too caught up in it. And I think Aiden has a chance to be really, really good. He was a guy last year that didn't do anything. I mean, USD won a lot of games, and I wouldn't say that Aiden Bauman was doing anything that was super flashy that got people's intention. He had some deep balls to Karan Adams and some of those plays, but he's a guy who's just going to take what is available to him, and then that's what makes him so smart. He doesn't have to make the hero play himself, and so depends how you look at, best in the country and some of that, but I think he's a guy who's, if you're looking for a guy who's going to manage the offense the way the offensive coordinator wants to run it, he's smart, can go up and change plays with what he sees on the defense because he watches an incredible amount of film. He's certainly one of the best to do that, and if that translates into wins, then it's great for him and it's great for the program.
John Thayer on tonight. He's the voice of the Yotes on the Coyote Sports Network. Find him on X at John C. Thayer, talking UST football. They're getting set for Iowa State in the opener next week. How bad, or not bad, but how tough is it going to be up front? This O-line last year was good. The D-line was good. There's a lot of guys missing now. Are there question marks there? What do you see on this depth chart?
Depends who has the question marks, right? Because everybody outside of the program has a lot of question marks. I think inside of the program, they like what they've done. They like what they have. I think the offensive line has come a long ways. They've used the transfer portal just as much as it's taken away from them. They've used it to try to fill some of those spots. I think the defensive line for South Dakota is as deep and talented as it has ever been. They've got a lot of guys that they're going to play up front, and some of those guys maybe we don't know right now, or fans don't know the names of right now, but like guys like Mosai Newsome is back. Chris Dixon, who's been in the program for a few years, he's going to get his chance. The Bowie kid who transferred in is going to be really, really good. And they've got a whole bunch of guys that they're going to be able to plug and play in, and you have to have it in this league. Teams that have had success, North Dakota State, South Dakota State, they've had good offensive lines, and they've had deep and talented defensive line because you have to rotate guys up front. Southern Illinois has done a really good job of that, too. I think Illinois State's gotten better at it. So you have to have that D-line, and I think this D-line is really good. I think they will surprise some people, and I think they're going to have to be really good for this defense to be good.
How tough is this game against Iowa State, man? Iowa State's opening up against K-State, so they got a tough one right out of the gate. Then everyone says, well, okay, then they get a layup. Well, USD is one of the top FCS programs, I think, now. How tough's the matchup?
Yeah, I mean, it's, Matt Campbell always has a really good game plan, and he doesn't overlook anybody, and not that he would to South Dakota, but you're coming back from Ireland for playing K-State. You got Iowa the week after. It's as trap games go, right? This is one that would define what we would call a trap game. And Matt Campbell won't let that happen. He's too good of a coach, and he's locked in. They'll be locked in with what they have. I'm really interested in what they'll do with a scheme, right? Because we'll see some of the stuff from the Kansas State game in Ireland, but then they're not going to want to show everything because they want to get that win against Iowa. So I'm really curious how this will go. These are games where FCS teams have to play near perfect, okay? You make one mistake, and it can change the whole game. And we've seen it at South Dakota. We've seen it at some of the other places. But you have to play a near-perfect game. You cannot have penalties. So I think the challenge is for South Dakota because it's their first game of the year. They have a bunch of transfers. How does the team gel together by game number one is going to be a question. Iowa State will already have some of the bugs worked out of the system, and it's game two for them. So typically teams get better from week one to week number two. So I think it'll be fun. It'll be a great atmosphere. I've heard great things about the tailgate scene in Ames, Iowa, and I'm really excited to spend an afternoon at Jack Trice Stadium.
That's going to be a great call for you. John Thayer is going to be on the call as the Yotes open up at Iowa State next week on the Coyote Sports Network. He's the play-by-play man at USD. He's here on the Nate Brown Show tonight. Hey, I want your read on this. I had Wyoming Athletic Director Tom Berman on yesterday. Had a great conversation with him. I thought he was really honest and open and talking about the future of college football. He made a statement here. It said, even though the Mountain West wasn't quite ready, some of the teams in that conference, to add any FCS programs, he said in the long run, he thinks there's going to be a changing landscape in college football, and there's going to be a reconfigured group of 5 FBS level, which could have the Dakota schools and the Montana schools making decisions. Do you see USD along with some of the top tier, the SDSUs, NDSUs, being in a place like that?
I personally believe that there will be a change with the landscape as we settle into the House settlement, right? And the teams that opt into it. And I think that's going to kind of start to dictate what the future of the divisions look like. I think South Dakota will be prepared to have that conversation at any moment. I think South Dakota will do what's best for themselves. I think, with the leadership of the president, Sheila Gestring, and John Schemmel, the athletic director, they're looking into all of this stuff as we speak. They just constantly are keeping an eye open. They know what the landscape's like. They would love, I think, and I don't know this from them, but I'm just saying I think they would love whatever the future is, to have the Dakota schools still together. They wouldn't, they would love to have it with the Montana schools, because I think these programs, South Dakota hasn't won the national championship, and I totally understand that. But I think South Dakota's been really, really good in 3 of their last 4 seasons, and they're putting themselves in that conversation each and every year. I think they continue to find ways to be competitive in basketball. Women's basketball had that great run for a long time. We've seen men's basketball surge up there at times. So I think they're looking at everything. They have to look out for the well-being of the student-athletes that come to USD, the well-being of the university as a whole, and how things can change for that. I am really interested in what will happen in the next 3 to 5 years and what this looks like. But I think they'll be prepared for whatever, and I'm sure they already have the answer. Can we do it if we get the invite? And is it a move that we want to do? Those discussions have certainly already happened, and I'm convinced that they'll be ready to make that decision if the time comes.
I think it'll be interesting, man. I would love it selfishly. I'd love to see the Dakota schools, Montana schools, Wyoming's, the Colorado State, some of these schools that I don't think are going to be in the top 40-ish best of the best in a new FBS. I think it'd be great. Last one for John Thayer. Hey, this was a big deal yesterday. USD just got the second biggest gift ever for Coyote Athletics, $20 million donation from Denny Sanford for a new indoor track and field facility. This is going to be state-of-the-art stuff. What do you think of it?
Yeah, and Bill Gasson's name's going to be on that thing because he's behind it 100% as well. He's a former Coyote football player that has a great amount of love and respect for USD. And, this has been kind of a goal for a long time, and they've had to wait to get ready. They had to finish off moving the pool from the Dakota Dome over to the Wellness Center. Now that the pool's done there, they've already begun changes and made changes in the Dakota Dome. For anybody who doesn't know this, like the East Concourse, not going to be as cramped as what it was before. There's a lot more space already, and they're just beginning to make changes. But the goal was to create another building that gives track and field the opportunity, a sport that has a great deal of success at USD, the opportunity to practice and do some of their stuff year-round, and maybe they can host events with a new venue. But the other thing that it does is it allows the dome to not have to lift the entire turf or 75% of the turf, so that football still has a place to work through some things in the off-season. And right now they're sharing that space with track and field and soccer and tennis and everything, and they pick up a lot of the turf and they leave down about 30 yards or whatever it is, and so they just have a small space to work on. Moving track, getting them a building where they can continue to grow as a program will also help football and other sports, because you can leave the turf down. And so I think this is a great move for the university, for the athletics department, and I know everybody appreciates everybody involved with these changes, because it's going to help, put the emphasis on football, but it also puts an emphasis on track, and it's going to allow that space to be used in different ways for other sports too. So really, really big news out of USD that they got to the point where they can announce it, and now they start making some work, and it's all going to line up right along that highway. So you'll see the building coming into town from the east, and before you get to the Dakota Dome, and it's going to look great, and it's going to be a great thing for USD athletics.
That's a big one, man. $20 million gift and new state-of-the-art indoor track and field facility getting off the ground at USD. John Thayer getting the season off the ground. He'll be calling the game. Yotes at Iowa State next weekend. voice of the Coyotes on the Coyote Sports Network. John, good to have you, man. We'll do it again. I appreciate it.
That sounds great, Nate. Anytime. Really appreciate you having me.
Thanks a lot for hopping on. John Thayer on tonight. He's the voice of the Coyotes on the Coyote Sports Network. Does a great job play-by-play man at USD. Find him on X at John C. Thayer. Good stuff. Yote update on South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Let's go high school football next. Let's keep it rolling. Steve Steele, can he get the Governors back with a trophy? They won a ton of them. Got knocked off last year. Pierre head football coach Steve Steele on the 2025 Govs next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
It's time for an upgrade, and don't spend a dime for 2 years. That's right, 0 zip zilch, with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 24 months. That's August 2027. Say goodbye to drafts and outdated design, and hello to our acclaimed replacement windows and our stunning ensemble entry doors. Get energy-efficient windows and doors and beautiful upgrades with zero regrets. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place? It's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps 1 minute, and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
Option-loaded campers and teardrops. You gotta check out these new look campers, people. The new designs are fantastic, and so many options for their size. And so many options for towing. No need for a diesel or a big truck. These only weigh around 1,500 to 2,000 pounds, so they can be towed by almost any rig. Check out these new 2026 Bontrager and SGC Armor campers, everyone. See AnytimeAnytime.com, and as always at the corner of Highway 79 and East Minnesota.
Anytime Auto Sales.
Whether you run the race, make the catch, cast a line, pitch a tent, or just look good doing it, Shields Rapid City has your gear. From athletic clothing from your favorite team, cold weather gear to keep you warm, to the best camping selection this side of the Black Hills, and the most stylish and functional women's outerwear and footwear, Shields has the widest selection of the best brands in the business. So when you're ready to get out, get in the game, or get going, get to Shields. Shields, we're right there with you at Rushmore Crossing in Rapid City.
This is The Nate Brown Show, also streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe to The Nate Brown Show on YouTube.
Hey, welcome in. The Nate Brown Show is on. South Dakota Sports Talk Show here on Fox Sports Radio. This hour driven by Summit Automotive Group. When it comes to pre-owned selection in South Dakota, start at summitautogrp.com. So it's right there on your phone. Take a look. It starts with the right vehicle selection, but really it's car buying built around you. Find out how the Summit difference SummitAutoGRP.com. Start there for pre-owned in South Dakota. Hey, we've been doing our high school football previews. Some of the top programs around the state. Trying to make it to some of the top teams. We had Brandon Valley's Matt Christensen on. They've got some guys back, man. They're going to be tough in AAA. We had Jared Fredenberg last night. Sioux Falls Lincoln, two-time defending state champions in AAA. How about Pierre? They made the championship again. Couldn't quite get it. Boy, they were going just on fire, and they're trying to get back there. Pierre head football coach is Steve Steele, and he joins us on the Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline. Coach, good to get you on. How are you?
Oh, we're doing well. It's warm everywhere, I think, right now, but we're excited to get ready into game week here. Thanks for having me on.
It is hot, man. How do you deal with this? This is tough stuff. We're talking heat advisories, mid-90s. It's humid. How do you deal with this with your guys? It's tough.
Yeah, I mean, we've kind of had kind of some different approaches depending on the day. If we can we really want to go for 2 hours. Sometimes we've had to go in the morning. Sometimes we've kind of had to go for a little bit, then go inside and do meetings and film, and then go back out and finish. So we've kind of had to, really just kind of figure out day by day, based on what the wet bulb says, about 1:30, 2 o'clock, what practice is going to look like.
Okay, so let's go to this season, but first I want to reflect here. Last year, you wanted, you were on this winning streak, and then last year you started 2-4. You started 2-4. That sounds like well, this is probably not going to be it. And then it turned around, and you went on another run deep into the postseason. What turned that around last year?
I think it was a combination of a bunch of different things. I mean, we initially early in the season we had quite a few injuries, which those don't help. I think we played 2 games without our tight end, who's a 4-star right now. We had about 3 defensive guys out. We had our quarterback out of games. So, I mean, we had a lot of things that were going against, a lot of adversity, and we were trying to figure out who we were. We were a very young team last year, so we had a lot of sophomores playing, which I would say is atypical of us. Usually we're predominantly junior, senior-driven team. So having sophomores is just really tough, especially when you play some of the teams that are senior-driven teams, just because of the physical maturity factor more than anything else. So, I think as the growing pains went, the guys stayed positive, and it really showed the resolve of our team, just being able to withstand the 4 straight losses. It was a bad September, and still finding a way to run it all the way back to the dome.
Yeah, Steve Steele on tonight, Pierre Governor's head football coach, trying to get an update on some of the top programs around the state. They're trying to get back there. So you guys come up short at the Dome. The winning streak snapped. The state championship streak snapped. So what was the reaction of this bunch here in the offseason? What's the mentality?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of newfound, hunger and excitement. I think that kind of showed. I mean, everybody knew at some point, it was unrealistic to think you're going to win it every year. At some point we knew it was going to end. Every group wanted it not to be theirs, and with that group being part of the group that it was, I mean, they really want to get back and start a new one now, so there's been a lot of newfound energy and excitement, and I think it's just been a very different dynamic because it's kind of a pressure release at the same time, I think there was almost a couple years of winning for the sake of not being the one to lose it. And I think now that that's kind of gone, I think there's just excitement to get back to wanting to win. And it's been a really fun group to see embrace that and progress over the summer and into the season here.
What are your expectations, Coach? Because you said we had sophomores last year make impacts. Now these guys are juniors. How do you feel about these guys on the field?
Yeah, I'm very excited about this season. I think we've got a really strong core back from last year's team. Really good up-and-comers. Some guys that are, going to be seniors that are stepping into starting roles. Lots of competition for a couple of the other spots for some juniors and some sophomores right now. But a lot of those sophomores that played for us last year, they have physically matured. That's always kind of the key in high school, I feel like, is, most sophomores physically aren't ready to play against a senior, but now as a junior, most of all of them are. So I think that part is really exciting. Hopefully there's less growing pains in the beginning. There always will be some, but hopefully there's less than there was last year, and hopefully we can find that stride much earlier.
So you have one of the top players in the state, maybe the top player, 4-star recruit, Cooper Terwilliger, tight end. Just saw he got it offered from Florida, and the offers are stacking up. How do you work this offense around when you have a player like that?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun kind of getting back and designing some different things, obviously featuring him. I mean, and the fun part about it being a tight end, not that you can't do the similar things with receivers, but, I mean, tight end, he's also a very good blocker. And he's our biggest player, too. I mean, he's, 6'6" and 220, 225 pounds. So, I mean, he's a big person, and he's very physical. So, I mean, we can use him very well, not just as a pass threat, but also in the run game as a run threat and a great blocker. So it's been fun to kind of, look and tinker with what we had and what worked and kind of redevelop things, based around his skill set too.
Okay, I wonder about this peer program, how teams find Terwilliger. Are you a believer in saying, hey, if you're the guy, they will find you?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, there's so much proof of that. And I think that especially as the days, as we get further along in this, media and technology age, I mean, it's hard to hide now in anything, So they're going to find you no matter where you are. I mean, South Dakota's, you're seeing more and more kids come out of the state and go to a big stage, and get those opportunities to go to those big-time programs, not just in football. I mean, we had our first NHL draft pick, too. So, I mean, I think that it's quickly becoming very, very, I won't say easy. You still got to do everything right, check all the boxes, and be that good, but it's pretty hard to stay hidden now.
Yeah. Greg Zabel, of course, out of your program. Now with the Seahawks, man, season's getting close. You keeping an eye on him?
Oh, yeah. No, it's been a lot of fun watching, we've watched the beginning of the preseason games until they pulled them, and it's surreal getting to see, Gray at that stage, on that level, playing with, some of the names, the Cooper Kupps and Sam Darnolds and all those, it's a surreal feeling to see that, and you're just so proud of all the work that he's put in to get to that point. And then, you kind of tune into some of the Seattle shows just to see what the sentiment is, and there's a lot of Zabel being said out there, too. So it's just a pretty cool thing, and, very excited for him and, hopefully to have another team to follow here.
Yeah, how about that? Terwilliger, the latest big-time recruit. He's in Pierre right now. He's the tight end for the Governors, one of the top players out there. He's a 4-star recruit. We'll be seeing him a lot this season. Coach Steve Steele of the Govs on tonight. Last one, Coach. Who do you see in 11AA out there? I've been told by some people looking at the rosters, looking who's coming back, that it's kind of open here. There's going to be some parity.
Yeah, I don't know that there's going to be, a very huge, strong pool of favorites. I think it exactly sums it up. Brookings has got quite a few guys back. I'd say we've got quite a few guys back. I'd say Spearfish has quite a few guys back. But, that's not to discount. Yankton's got a few studs that they have back. Watertown's got a few studs back. Every program right now, I think, it should feel – it's the fun part of the beginning of the season, too. Everybody should feel optimistic right now. But, again, I don't look at any of the teams in AA and just be like, wow, it's going to be tough to beat them because everybody should have a shot against everybody, on paper looking in right now.
11AA season getting underway next week, and Pierre head coach Steve Steele trying to run it back, head coach of the Govs. Coach, always good, man. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
I appreciate it. Steve Steele on the Nate Brown Show tonight. Checking in Pierre, trying to win another state title. They just got clipped last year by Watertown. The Governor's bringing guys back. He sounds pretty confident. I don't know. I've heard people out there saying, I don't know about Pierre. I don't know about... Well, I do. I'm gonna say Pierre's gonna be pretty good. Just a guess. Coming right back, who's hot and who's not? 2 trades in the NFL with the Broncos and the Vikings. Next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
How do you make a buffet day even better? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade is your place for good food and good times. Won the big game? Make it a play day. Aced your test? Make it a play day. Just need to get out of the house? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade has all your favorites and all kinds of fun. So bring your family, bring your friends, bring your team. For good food and good times, make it a buffet day and a play day at the Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade.
Hunting season's just around the corner. Time to gear up with the best names in the business at prices that will not be beat. Like a WildView 16-megapixel trail cam for just $34.99. The Big Game 16-foot Warrior Pro tree stand is on sale for $149.99. And take aim and comfort with a Hawk Big Denali luxury blind chair for just $134.99. Stop in for these hunting specials and more at your local Fleet Farm. And check out all our weekly deals at fleetfarm.com.
Hi, this is Jeremy with Jerry's Cakes and Donuts, inviting you to kickstart your morning by dropping by and grabbing some fresh donuts. I want to thank you for voting us the best in the Black Hills. We're up early making your favorite donuts, so stop by and bring some to the office. Everybody loves Jerry's Cakes and Donuts, and we love you, so stop by, get a great selection, and brighten up your day. Serving Rapid City for over 40 years, Jerry's Cakes and Donuts at 109 East Omaha, and remember to like Jerry's on Facebook for some great giveaways.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. A heat advisory continues until 7 p.m. tonight. Mainly clear skies tonight with a low of 72. South winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Tomorrow, slight chance of thunderstorms. Daytime highs approaching 87. Chance of thunderstorms tomorrow night 61. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently, it's 95 degrees.
Ready to be part of something big? Meet the Rapid City Sports Commission, the powerhouse behind sports in Rapid City. The commission focuses on bringing regional and national tournaments, supporting homegrown events, and creating opportunities for our kids. But it's not just games, it's a win-win for all of us. Youth sports fuel our economy. Hosting events in Rapid City means out-of-town families shop, dine, and stay with us, which boosts sales tax revenues too. To get in on the action, visit rcsportscommission.com, where we're all about the hustle.
Ever dreamed of building something amazing? Builders First Source in Rapid City, Spearfish, and Hot Springs is your go-to building materials partner. Whether you're building new or giving new life to an old space, we provide step-by-step guidance from drafting and cabinetry design to lifelike visualization and top-quality materials. It's your vision, and we're here to make it real. Visit BLDR.com. Builders First Source, your Black Hills partner in building every step of the way.
Get away from it all in the great outdoors for lasting family memories with a new or pre-owned RV from Dakota Discount RV. We make your RV experience fun and easy by providing you with a quality recreational vehicle, competitive pricing, and professional sales and service. Our large inventory of fifth-wheelers, travel trailers, toy haulers, and live-in horse trailers allows us to save our customers thousands of dollars compared to most dealers. Stop by and see us at Dakota Discount RV, 3330 East Mall Drive across from Cabela's and on JB Road, Blackhawk.
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown.
All right, let's do this every night at this time. Who's hot and who's not on the Nate Brown Show, brought to you by the Pizza Ranch, home of everyone's favorite buffet, your locally owned and operated Pizza Ranch tonight. Who's hot category? Let's go to a big trade, pretty big trade in the NFL with your Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings are trading defensive tackle Harrison Phillips today to the New York Jets. And you're going to be like, wait, Harrison Phillips, that's a good player. He's solid. He's solid, kind of on the tail end, though, I think. Vikings got him from the Bills. So I like Harrison Phillips, but maybe the Vikings are freeing up a little bit to get a wide receiver? Maybe a wide receiver? So Harrison Phillips out. Jets are going to pay like half of his salary. So the Vikings trade Harrison Phillips. I think they're okay up front. In my Pizza Ranch Who's Not tonight, the Broncos make a trade, and this is a bad one. Wide receiver Devon Vele shipped out to New Orleans Saints because Sparky loves the Saints, doesn't he? So he did a deal. Devon Vele is a good player. We're going to rely on Troy Franklin now? I hope Franklin has a good season here. He was stone hands last year. Thanks for listening to the program. Devon Vele of the Broncos out. Bad call. The Nate Brown Show podcast going up right now. See you back here tomorrow.
It may not require a textbook, but it's filled with valuable lessons.
It may not take place